Story number one. Can science explain everything? If you haven't been keeping an eye on the news, there's been an underground war going on between religion and science scholars. People who are in Scientology, people who are in Christianity, people who are in Islam, people who are in Jewish communities. People are searching for the God particle. Has it already been found? But the thing is that what people are finding out is that science cannot possibly explain everything. To give you an example, the universe, what happens in the elements, things that are happening in nature. There's been some stories that surface inside of this headline. Is basically talking about how polls are finding out that trust in science rather than God or divine intervention, divine nature is rising. So we have, when you look at this story and you see why it made it in the top 10, you have to look at the fact of like drugs, genetic modification, health issues, pharmaceutical industry. Science has made some improvements, but there's been some side effects, like the fact that children are getting involved in more trouble, adults are getting involved in more trouble. So the question now is, how will this affect how people view the laws that we have on society? Moral law, moral coding, the idea of the woman. The thing is that the laws of divine nature, when it comes to biblical scholars, the Bible, the Quran, those things have not changed. But science has basically evolved or has homed in on the evolution of man and the evolution of civilization. Mainly how a man is supposed to be with a woman, how people view society. And you've seen a lot of churches in decline because of moral law, moral rules, people saying that the priests were molesting children. So this debate is surfacing its way back into the media. But the thing is even when you talk about mental health, can you blame science or divine law on how people snap? Brain chemistry? Is it because of the way human beings interact with each other? Is it the fact that there's some unethical behavior going on when people are messing with nature? So this is a story that is in the news, especially when you talk about when you add the fact that medicine helping people, and how the pharmaceutical industry has come a long way, how the fact that some people are dependent on medication, some veterans, some people in society. So when you mix God and science and moral responsibilities and divine human people have capabilities that other people don't have, is how do you mix that with science? Science cannot possibly explain everything, and people are relying more on science now than they have before. Now there's no competition going on here, but it's the fact that things are changing, and the system and the way people respond and interact is changing as well. Doctors find 526 teeth in a boy's mouth in India. How can science explain that? Is there something changing in the cycle? Are the people on the other side, which could be the gods, people who are on the other side trying to send us messages? Could this boy just be evolving? These are questions that are coming up in circles, and why this new topic is very, very interesting. Atheists complain about back-to-school prayer event at Alabama school. This story will gain some steam in the upcoming weeks because of the fact that people are concerned about God, science, how their children are being affected by laws that people are making, the authorities, people being boxed in with contracts that they cannot possibly fulfill. All this has to do with moral law and how things were founded, the structure of the foundation. Most universities were founded off Christian Judeo laws. So we have to ask ourselves, do we keep God in this equation, or do we change the rules and eliminate the very thing that led up to us to this point now? Is God sending angels through the portal of a woman womb? Is the fundamentals of God, Christianity, religious law, has anything changed? The Bible has stayed the same for years. So you see this story about how science is mixing in with how we're starting to think and treat each other as human beings. You have to think years ago, without technology, human beings had jobs. There wasn't as before the drugs came along. Things were a little bit different. So the people will be weighing in these stories. You will probably see in the analysts weighing the pros and cons of science and the pros and cons of religion and how they can come together. Another story that surfaced in the World Health Organization says that there will be no more gene edited babies. So even we're starting to tap into this conscious mind of human thinking. They're doing things with the laws. You have to think how a human being is designed. So once science starts playing with that design, something changes, something alters the course of mankind. There's also a story that surfaced in Japan approves scientists' plan to create world's first human animals. So in other countries, they're experimenting with crossbreeding humans with animals. This stuff, you have to think, this stuff has never been in a problem until now in the new age, where they have all this technology and people are messing with everything. Some of these people do not have a religion. Some of them have no moral code of conduct but to advance their own cause and their own agenda. This is an important story, and I can guarantee it will gain some steam as in the upcoming weeks. A woman to be the first in gene editing trial to use the CRISPR tool. She wants to treat her genetic disorder. I think she has sickle cell, and it's a disease that basically weakens the body a bit. And she wants to try gene editing to see if it will help her with her condition. Folks, these stories are getting deeper and deeper every week. So story number one, you could better believe it's going to stay alive. Can science explain everything? You're in the Mediator with me, Brian West, where it's my supreme duty every week to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories. Stories that may affect you in your daily life. Something that you may bypass, not even keep an eye on. I hone through navigating the news, find the top 8 stories that will keep you tuned in to what is happening. You may be sending your children to school, not knowing that something is happening in the news. You may hear it here because I navigate the news just for you, checking story after story, going through over 50 stories every week, 200 or more. Who knows? I navigate the news just for you. So if you want to help out and contribute, all you have to do is visit www.method8inc.com, method8inc.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, or just read something, or you can just sponsor a program. Always remember to thank the journalists for all their hard work. I'm just a mediator. I stand between. They deserve all the credit. So once again, if you want to help me out, my cause to continue to do this, I have to do research, I have to do books, I have to do a lot of reading to find the stories and home in on topics that are beneficial and helpful to you as a citizen of the world and of the United States of America. So if you want to help out, METHOD, the number 8, INC.com, method8inc.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, or just read something.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.